Prison School is a comedy anime that was ahead of its time. It was released in 2015. I don't believe I am on my own with having fond memories of this show in the past. If you have never seen this anime, don't worry, as this video will recap everything. Without further ado, let's get right into it. The first episode starts right in the action. Our 5 main characters, who I will introduce later, are working hard in their school's prison, and we get a few scenes of our favorite big bubble woman, Meiko. What is happening, you may ask? Well, a convenient flashback will explain everything. Hajimitsu is a private all-girls boarding school. However, this year they decided to open their doors to allow 5 boys to enter, which were our main characters. We have Gakuto, the nerdy one, Shingo, who is a nonchalant and cool in nature one, Kiyoshi, who is the most normal one, if you can call any of them normal, Joe, who is extremely quiet and antisocial, and finally Andre, who is like a big baby. They are all moping about, having not talked to any girls yet. Kiyoshi gathers the courage to finally talk to a girl. His bravery shocks the others. Unfortunately, his approach doesn't go to plan, and they ignore him. All the girls are avoiding him like the plague. Kiyoshi returns to his friends, now feeling defeated. A group of girls outside discuss the notice they received, not allowing them to talk to any of the boys. In class, Kiyoshi drops his eraser on the ground. When he goes to pick it up, a girl notices the sumo wrestler on it. His mum gave him this sumo eraser, and he initially thinks it creeped her out. However, after the lesson, she shows him that they have the same eraser. With this one common interest, he can now shoot some Riz. Her name is Chiyo, and she invites him to go to a tournament with her. He accepts this and goes to his room feeling jolly. The other 4, Gakuto wants to go peeping on the girls. By the way guys, this is day 1. Initially hesitant of joining them, they give him motivation on why they should go. All suited up, it is clear they convinced Kiyoshi. Gakuto has done some research and figured out that class 1-1 is the best spot to go to. Of course he did research. Unfortunately, this is his and Chiyo's class. However, there is no way Gakuto and the others will turn back now. On the roof above the changing room, Gakuto shows Kiyoshi the plan. They will use 2 phones to get an angle. Unknowingly, he's lowering his own phone down. This shocks him, causing him to drop his phone in the room. They lower Kiyoshi down to get his phone back. As soon as he gets his phone back, Chiyo enters the room. The gang instantly leaves Kiyoshi behind, believing it's over for him. She mistakes him for someone else, another girl called Mayumi. She took her contacts out, so her vision is extremely poor. The boys return as there is still hope in the plan. She then drags Kiyoshi into the shower with her. The others are now jealous and want to join Kiyoshi in what they believe to be Valhalla. However, they are surrounded and attacked by crows on the roof. Chiyo is casually chatting to Kiyoshi, still thinking he is Mayumi. When the real Mayumi approaches, this blows Kiyoshi's cover. On the roof, the underground student council caught the boys. This creates a distraction, allowing Kiyoshi to escape. Meiko is a member of the underground student council. That's a mouthful. I will just call it the USC from now on. She questions them about their missing friend, and Gakuto lies to protect him, which gets him punished. The other girls begin beating up the defenseless boys. Kiyoshi is watching this from afar, but he is approached by a girl. She gives him a booklet on the USC. It is made up of Hana, the secretary, Meiko, the vice president, and finally the president, which happens to be the girl who approached him, Mary, the crow master. She is now walking to the others, dragging a badly beaten up Kiyoshi. He sees Chiyo in the crowd, which makes him cry, as he's lost all of his aura. The entire school is now hurling insults at the 5 boys, calling them pervs, scum, etc. Dressed in prison uniforms, they are now walked around the school for their actions. They are charged with many counts of human rights violations and sexual harassment. They are given a sentence of serving 1 month in the school's prison. They are told that if they try to escape, their sentence will be extended by 1 month. If they try to escape 3 times, they will be expelled. They now must also attend virtual lessons, and they can't talk to their parents as they will lose too much aura, confessing what they did. Their first task is to build a barricade around the prison in 3 days. Gakuto tries to speak up, which gets him punished. This results in the others falling in line. Meiko is ruthless, punishing all of them for the smallest mistakes. She tells Andre to lick her boot clean, but Kiyoshi stands up for him. Now retired for the day, they are all chatting to each other. They are all angry at Kiyoshi for standing up for them. They enjoyed and wanted the punishments. Initially disappointed in his friends, he begins to also enjoy the punishments. So, now whilst they work, they are all begging to be punished. Mary sees the boys having too much fun with Meiko, so she sends out Hana. She is really positive and sends them on a hunt to find 4-leaf clovers to create stuff to sell. Feeling relaxed, Shingo makes a joke about Hana. This angers her, so she kicks him in the head, gravely injuring him. The boys then lock in, collecting lots of the 4-leaf clovers. She finds one 3-leaf clover in the pile, angering her, and using her fighting skills, she individually beats up all of the boys. The boys hate this kind of punishment, so they all work their hardest. Kiyoshi finds a baby raven out of its nest. He returns it to the nest, and Chiyo sees this. She believes that he is innocent, and Kiyoshi promises her that they will still watch that sumo fighting match together. Hana just happens to use the toilet under the tree that Kiyoshi is at. And unfortunately for Kiyoshi, the mummy raven returns to its nest, knocking him down. Kiyoshi sees a bit too much, hence the title of the episode. This makes Hana cry to Meiko, and she sends all the boys to their cells. The boys are proud of him for getting rid of Hana. Mary is talking to the principal of the school. She complains about the school being co-ed, both boys and girls. The principal tells her that she should go easy on them and give them Saturday and Sunday off. The boys are tasked to clear the wooded area to build a garden. They are also told that if they have good behavior, they can get 3 hours of free time. This gives Kiyoshi hope in attending his sumo date with Chiyo. Mary walks into the principal's office and finds he was watching some sus things. This angers her, so she takes away the boy's free time. Feeling hopeless on attending his date, he cries. He watches ants crawl into a hole, which gives him a prison escape idea. A day in the life of the boys is shown, from waking up to roll call to breakfast, cleaning and virtual lessons, then eventually back outside to begin hard labor. Kiyoshi takes a break from work to take out the bin. It is revealed that he has been digging a hole slowly with a fork. Chiyo sees him and throws a note, but he doesn't find it. She writes the details of their date in her notebook and shows it to Kiyoshi. 1 PM on Saturday. Back in their cell, Gakuto shows Kiyoshi the note he found. Kiyoshi feels defeated knowing Gakuto found out about his escape plan. On their next day of work, Hana has returned. Kiyoshi is digging out his secret hole until Hana approaches him. She questions whether or not he told everyone about what had happened between them. He claims he did not, but this isn't good enough for her. She wants him to pee in front of her to make things even. Just as he's about to do it, they hear Gakuto calling for Kiyoshi. This makes Hana leave. Gakuto finds the hole Kiyoshi has been digging. He claims he wants to help Kiyoshi break out. Kiyoshi questions why he wants to help, but he says he will tell him later. The principal realizes that Mary saw what was on his computer, so he decides to hide something. Gakuto tells Kiyoshi that he wants him to buy him a limited edition figurine. It will take around 3 hours to go on the date and buy the figurine, so he had made a plan to hide his absence. The principal crosses paths with Mary. He accidentally drops what he was trying to hide. Get! Mary walks away disappointed and motivated to treat the boys even worse. She does not want the boys to end up like him. Gakuto and Kiyoshi are fighting beside the escape hole. Hana approaches and kicks them, which results in the shed being destroyed. Meiko commands the duo to rebuild the shed. It is revealed that this was all a part of their plan. Hana is going to watch over them, which unfortunately was not a part of their plan. She gives Kiyoshi some tea and tells him that she wants to watch him pee. Gakuto figures that since she wears shorts, Hana must be a nerd like him. So he makes a plan B to distract her by shooting some Riz. He shoots his shot, which results in him getting punched. Gakuto then uses plan C, telling Hana that Kiyoshi needs to pee. The two leave together. Kiyoshi runs away and tries to hide in a stall, but Hana finds him. Non-YouTube friendly stuff then happens. After this, Meiko tells the others that Hana isn't feeling well. This allows the duo to be at the hole unattended now. They decide that Kiyoshi should try do a trial run of their escape. He tells him that he should return before the bell goes off. Outside, he finds the principal digging a hole. Meiko questions where Kiyoshi is at, but Gakuto covers for him. The principal is burying pictures of Gyat. The bell goes and the principal finally leaves. Meiko has had enough of Gakuto's excuses and wants to see Kiyoshi herself. She begins to walk over to the escape hole. Kiyoshi makes it back, but he gets stuck in the hole. Fortunately, a trap goes off, giving Kiyoshi just enough time to push through the hole. Back in their cell, the duo are discussing a better way to distract Meiko for 3 hours. Shingo is suspecting the duo as they have grown really close recently. Meiko takes in their item requests, and Gakuto requests an audio player for his foreign language study. Meiko also teams the duo up with Shingo in working together. The duo starts to create plans to work with Shingo. He overhears this, but completely misinterprets everything, scaring him. That night they are showering, and Shingo walks in on the duo after Gakuto dropped the soap. They invite him to join them. The next day Shingo tells Meiko he wants to work somewhere else. Kiyoshi found a drainage pipe that he will use to sneak away on the escape day. Whilst moving through the pipes, Meiko accidentally steps on Kiyoshi without realizing. At the end of the day, she questions why Kiyoshi was gone for so long, and he blames it on his stomach issues. Gakuto receives the audio player, and they are told that they are going to normal lessons tomorrow. Gakuto reveals that the audio player is to play sounds of pooping. It should buy time whilst Kiyoshi sneaks out. Gakuto tries to find sounds online to download, but has had no luck. Desperate, Gakuto takes one for the team and records himself pooping in class. The principal has dug up the pictures of Gyat. Ashamed of himself, he wants to seal them away again. Kiyoshi, fully determined, tells Gakuto that he will not let a sacrifice go to waste. The principal buries the photo under cement so he can't dig them up again. Unfortunately for the duo, the principal spots the hole they dug out, so when Kiyoshi goes to check on it, he sees that it has been sealed off. Whilst eating dinner, they begin to argue. Gakuto is mad that he had pooped himself for no reason now. He lost all of his aura for a plan that now seems hopeless. The next day, Gakuto is depressed over the whole ordeal. Kiyoshi approaches him and reveals another escape plan. He will disguise himself as a girl. He will dress up as a girl and walk out the front gate. He will sneak into the cleaning truck to steal a uniform. Gakuto purposely gets into trouble the next day. He attacks the USC president to make a scene. Meiko beats Gakuto badly for this. When Kiyoshi asks why he did this, he claims it was necessary for the plan. He is being punished by getting a haircut. He returns to the cell with a buzz cut. He tells Kiyoshi to use his hair as a wig. The truck has arrived, so it is time to steal the uniform. Using the pipes, he sneaks underneath the truck. The truck driver is moving too fast for Kiyoshi to sneak in. Gakuto starts to shout at the guy to distract him. This gives Kiyoshi the chance to sneak in. Shingo arrives to de-escalate the situation, so the guy begins to walk back to his truck. He closes the truck whilst Kiyoshi is still inside. He begins to drive away but runs over a laundry basket. Kiyoshi fought ahead and left it there as a trap. He escapes the truck using this distraction. On the morning of the escape, they go over the plan again. Kiyoshi will set up the speaker and escape through the window before traveling through the pipes. Dressed up in the disguise, he will then walk boldly out the front gate. The bell rings, meaning the time for the escape has begun. He places the speaker in the toilet before escaping. He puts the disguise on, however the jacket is too small and rips. He puts the bag over the rip, successfully tricking Meiko. He is walking out the front gate, but he is stopped by Mary. She stopped him for wearing the bag incorrectly, not because she suspected him. When she sees the rip on the jacket, she apologizes and lets him go. Now, free, he runs to his date happy. Meiko checks on the duo. She asks where Kiyoshi is, and Gakuto says he is using the toilets. He made it to the sumo arena and meets Chiyo. They are watching the fight. He has zero interest in sumo though. She offers him food that she made, which is extremely bland. Meiko checks on the duo again and is surprised Kiyoshi is still not back yet. She goes to the toilet to check on him. At the toilet, no one replies to her. She is about to open the door, but Gakuto plays the audio. This makes her back off. Gakuto cries tears of joy, seeing his plan is working. During their date, Chiyo takes a picture of them together. He leaves to go to the restroom, and she accidentally spills her drink on Kiyoshi's bag. Whilst cleaning his bag, she spots a girl's school uniform inside. When he returns, he tries to shoot some game. She has gone cold towards him and leaves. He notices his wet bag and sees she found the uniform, which happened to belong to her. Now depressed, he is about to get the train back. Meiko goes to the toilet again to check up on Kiyoshi. She demands he comes out now or she will go in. The principal and Mary are talking. The boys are set to be released in a week. They both receive a text at the same time. Gakuto tries to play the pooping sound, but the device is dead. She then breaks the door down. Kiyoshi is seen on the toilet crying. He returned earlier than expected, saving the plan. Kiyoshi claims it was a failure. Concerned he didn't get the figurine he wanted, he attacks Kiyoshi. He tells him it was the date that failed, and he actually got his figurine. This makes Gakuto happy. He hides the figurine in the toilet. The USC president Mary confronts the duo. She knows Kiyoshi snuck out. She shows him the picture Chiyo and him tucked together. She sent it to the family group chat, revealing that Mary and the principal are her family. They search his bag and find Gakuto's hair and Chiyo's uniform. They have now unraveled their entire plan. Shingo punches Kiyoshi, angry that he got their sentence extended by a month. He now lays on the ground defeated. He is punished with solitary confinement. When questioned, he claims the plan was all his idea. The others got their sentence extended by a month, whereas Kiyoshi is being expelled. Gakuto tells the others that Kiyoshi being expelled is unfair, but Shingo and the others think it's very fair. The USC don't have the authority to expel students. Kiyoshi is sitting in solitary confinement hating his life. He lost his friends and the girl he likes. Chiyo is having lunch with Mayumi. She tells her that she forgives Kiyoshi and regrets leaving without saying anything. She overhears people talking about how Kiyoshi is being expelled. Kiyoshi is summoned to the USC's office. They ask him to voluntarily leave school. They use his destroyed social life to get him to sign. Feeling defeated with his reputation, he agrees to sign. Just as he is about to sign, Chiyo barges in. She sits down and defends him. She says to the USC that since it was her that invited Kiyoshi to the sumo match, they are both just as guilty. She begins to sign the withdrawal paper as well. She tells Mary about the time Kiyoshi returned the baby crow to its nest. Mary still insists that Kiyoshi signs the paper, but Chiyo has motivated him to stay in the school. They finally give up, and he is allowed to go back to his cell. He apologizes to the others and sits down to eat. They all ate his dinner. Gakuto tries to share with him, but Shingo takes it. He is still mad at Kiyoshi for getting his sentence extended. The next day at school, Shingo throws chunks of an eraser at Kiyoshi. And at work, Shingo isolates Kiyoshi. Kiyoshi's only motivation for taking the bullying is Chiyo. The USC made a plan called DTO to get the boys expelled. I will let what DTO stands for up to your imagination. They want to use the free strike rule to get the boys expelled. They want to bait the boys into creating problems for the school. They note that Kiyoshi is being exiled from the group and Shingo is the leader. Before the boys retire for the day, Meiko asks Shingo for a private chat. In her office, she offers him cakes. Whilst he is eating, she asks him to do her a favor. Kiyoshi tells Gakuto that he doesn't mind him giving him the silent treatment. It is better he follows Shingo so the others don't suspect his involvement in the escape. When Shingo returns, he has a defeated look on his face. He is still cold and rude towards Kiyoshi. Andre is sad that Meiko hasn't been punishing him recently and accidentally knocks over Joe's ant farm. This angers him, causing them to fight. Tensions in the prison has grown greatly. We can see that Shingo has been hired to give away information on the boys. He tells her about Joe being overprotective about his ant farm. The USC have a meeting and discuss the boys' weaknesses. Mary claims she will make them crack. Later during lunch, Joe and Andre make up. Shingo suggests they all play tag outside. Outside, Joe is taking his ants on a walk. Kiyoshi overhears Meiko telling Shingo to take Joe to the fence and stall him. Shingo calls Joe over to chat. Shingo starts talking about maths, which is out of character for him. A crow starts attacking Joe's ants. When he tries to save them, Meiko stops him. He pushes her away, but Hana kicks him in the head. Mary comes in and punishes Joe for pushing Meiko. Filled with pure rage, he grabs a sharpened stick and tries to attack Mary. Kiyoshi spots this and pushes him over. This results in him being impaled in the gyat! Joe is sent to solitary confinement and Kiyoshi is sent to the nurse. Hana takes him there. They show Joe that the crow didn't kill his ants. They also gaslight Joe into thinking he is the bad guy. Hana wants to pee on Kiyoshi to get back at him, but Chiyo interrupts them by also entering the nurse's office. She came looking for him after she heard what happened with his gyat. They hide from her under the bed. Whilst they are there, his you-know-what touches her leg. Chiyo finally leaves and Kiyoshi apologizes to Hana, but she has already fainted. Mary visits the principal's office to report about Joe's violence today. He gets a call, so he leaves his seat to answer it. She sees that he was sitting on a gyat mouse pad. She now leaves the room disappointed. She wants to increase the pressure on the boys now. Joe is released and allowed to join the boys again. Shingo tries to bully Kiyoshi, but Joe stands up for him. Meiko calls Shingo out for a special job. Joe is being kind to Kiyoshi and thanks him for stopping him. The two make up and are now good friends. Meiko gives Shingo a school uniform and gives him permission to leave the school. Shingo is playing video games at an arcade. He is about to leave, but a girl talks to him. Her name is Onzu, and she raises him up heavy. She has the high score in the game he was playing, and she says she will see him around. Shingo returns and asks to be allowed outside again another time. Meiko says he will have to give more information for that to happen. In the bathroom, he finds a piece of Gakuto's figurine. Later, he shows Meiko the piece he found. She thinks it's rubbish and throws it away. Gakuto goes to the bathroom looking for the missing piece. Hana finds him looking for it. The USC are having a meeting, and Meiko brought snacks. Whilst eating the snacks, Mary finds the figurine piece. Mary says it is a Chinese sword. Later that night, Meiko goes to the bathroom and finds something. She then tells Shingo that he can go outside again. We can then see Gakuto's figurine is now on her desk. Gakuto is now seen depressed on a table alone, having lost his figurine. Shingo is playing video games at the arcade again. Anzu approaches him from behind and helps him win. Later, she buys him an ice cream and they have a date. She tells him that they should go watch a movie. Sadly, he declines as he does not have enough time. In the prison, Meiko gives them all a snack, but she gives Gakuto his figurine piece. She pulls out the rest, taunting him. She knows the figurine came out on the same day Kiyoshi broke out, so she wants to link him to the escape. She says if he admits to helping the escape, she will return the figurine. However, their sentence will be extended if he admits to this. He decides to stay strong and breaks the figurine himself to prove he is innocent. He walks away crying, having pooped himself for no reason. He then apologizes to the others about keeping his involvement in Kiyoshi's escape plan from them. Shingo wants to punish him, but Joe stands up for him. Andre also forgives Gakuto. Their forgiveness annoys Shingo and he storms off. The next day, Meiko is dressing more modestly. Andre runs in and tries to get punished, but she ignores him. She then punishes Joe for doing nothing. Andre taunts her, but she still ignores him. He keeps on making mistakes, hoping to be punished, but it never comes. Meiko shows Mary Andre's diary. He has been writing in it how he wants to be punished. He is getting close to his mental breaking point. The USC are putting in motion the final part of DTO, and Chiyo overhears their conversation. The boys are worried about their friend Andre. His mind is beginning to break due to not being punished in a long time. Meiko is giving Shingo more time outside. She tells him to be back by 6:30, but if he's late then she will count it as a breakout attempt. He is confused as to why she is letting him out, as he hasn't given any information recently. He goes to the movies with Anzu and has planned out his day to be back by 6:30. Whilst Meiko is walking the others around the school, Chiyo signals a message to Kiyoshi. Unfortunately, Kiyoshi does not understand the message. Andre is beginning to rot away in a corner. He hears an echoey voice calling his name, promising to punish him. Shingo and Anzu leave the movie early as it was boring. He still has about an hour left, so they go to the park. The voice leads Andre to his diary. In it has a surprising entry telling him to go through the door to get his punishment. Gakuto notices Kiyoshi is lost in thought, so he asks him what is up. He writes the message Chiyo tried to show him on the mirror. Gakuto realizes that it says, "The boys will be expelled today." She warned them about the USC's plan to trick them. Worried, they look for Andre. However, he is nowhere to be seen. Andre is now standing before Meiko. He charges towards her, but he is stopped by a fence. The boys find him just as he breaks through the barrier. He fell for their trap, and it now counts as a prison break. Gakuto finds out that they weakened the wires, so it was easier for Andre to break out. Shingo and Anzu are on the bench enjoying their time together. However, it is interrupted when Shingo goes to stand up for a kid. He shouts at them. This surprisingly causes the one being bullied to stand up for the bullies. They all leave, and Anzu is touched by this. He tells her how he's been a bad guy recently by backstabbing his friends. Anzu starts crying. Meiko reveals to the others that Shingo was let outside, but he has to return by 6:30 or else it will be counted as a prison break. Anzu tells Shingo that she was hired by the USC to make him late returning. She reveals that she changed the time on his watch during the movie. He actually only has 5 minutes to get back. He starts running back and the others pray he will make it back in time. Unfortunately for Shingo, he gets hit by a truck on his way. He is surprised to see that the driver is the school cleaner man. He drops him off at the school and he runs back to the school. However, with 10 seconds left, he can't open the door as it seems to be locked, meaning the boys have had 3 prison break attempts. Meiko shows Shingo it was a sliding door, meaning there was no foul play. Back in their cell, they are all gloomy. They have been defeated and are now being expelled. Kiyoshi forgives Shingo for the betrayal. However, when he tells them about his date, they have a change in heart. Going on a successful date is unforgivable to them. Now in the principal's office, they are gathered to hear the bad news. Chiyo enters and tells them about the USC's secret plan to set up the boys. Unfortunately, there is no proof. Now faced with expulsion, the principal gives them 2 weeks before he signs the papers to officially kick them out. The USC now celebrate having gotten the boys kicked out. In their cell, Kiyoshi wants to create a miracle. Refusing to accept expulsion, Kiyoshi remembers Chiyo mentioning the DTO plan. If they can find any evidence of it, they will be saved. Shingo remembers seeing an email on Meiko's computer titled DTO. However, they lose hope, knowing that they must have deleted all virtual and physical evidence. Gakuto tells them that he can restore deleted emails. They put their hands out in agreement in their plan to get the evidence of the setup. They begin to create details to their plan. Gakuto knows that they will have to steal the keys off Meiko to gain access to her office. The boys are wrestling and they taunt Meiko, saying Andre is the strongest in the school. She wants to challenge Andre to an arm wrestling match and prepares to take him on. Gakuto wants to challenge her first. He reveals his muscular build and prepares to fight. A flashback shows that Gakuto's plan involves stealing the keys during the arm wrestling fight. They were going to offer to take her jacket for her. However, when they offer to take it, she refuses. She then beats Gakuto in less than a second. Now improvising, Kiyoshi challenges Meiko as well. Just as he is about to lose, Shingo kicks the table over. During the commotion, Gakuto manages to steal the keys. A flashback shows Gakuto telling the others that once he gets the keys, he will need at least 10 minutes to get the data. Stalling for time, Kiyoshi calls a rematch, claiming their match wasn't finished. Gakuto slips away. He enters the office. Kiyoshi's arm is bent horribly. He didn't even survive a minute. Gakuto begins the data restoration process. Shingo starts to tell stories to buy time. However, she doesn't care and swiftly beats Shingo as well. Joe steps up to buy some time as well. His body is extremely frail. Gakuto is struggling with the data as the Wi-Fi connection is very slow. Joe gets defeated in less than a second. Now the final boss is up, Andre. The other three have only bought about 3 minutes, so Andre has to hold out for 7. The match begins and Andre is clearly weaker. However, due to a single nipple hair, they appear to be evenly matched. The hair keeps on distracting her just as he's about to lose the match. She closes her eyes, allowing her to lock in. With 2 minutes on the clock, it's looking grim. Gakuto is struggling to find the DTO files. Meiko finally beats Andre. However, the team is 1 minute short. She notices her keys are missing, but Gakuto returns just in time to return them. She rips off Andre's nipple hair before leaving. Gakuto breaks the news to the others that he could not retrieve the data in time. Before he could finish, he heard Andre crying out for help. Now they have nothing, which makes them all lose hope. Laying in bed, feeling defeated, they think about their time in prison school. They all cry now knowing it's all over. They have accepted their fates and lost their will to fight against the explosion. They have lost all their spirit, with Gakuto being hit the worst. He has gone mad. With 2 days left until the principal makes their expulsion official, Meiko takes in last meal requests. Gakuto asks for grasshoppers. Chiyo snuck a note into Kiyoshi's food. Later he replies to Chiyo, saying farewell as he still has no hope. They all enjoy their last meal requests, and Kiyoshi finds another note. Gakuto eats grasshoppers and throws up. He has gained his sense back and reveals he has made a plan. They are getting expelled tomorrow, but Gakuto's plan needs at least 2 days to work. Meiko brings them the expulsion papers. Kiyoshi suggests that they write an appeal to the principal asking for more time. Meiko comes to collect the papers, and they present their appeal. They beg her to give it to the principal, and she accepts the request. The next day they are waiting for the principal, however they are only met by Meiko. She takes them to the dorms to gather their stuff, and on the way, Gakuto realizes that she ripped up their appeal. The principal shows up surprising the USC. He takes them back to their cell to hear them out. Kiyoshi reveals that he wrote another appeal on the back of his expulsion papers. Desperate for a reply, he blackmailed the principal. The time he saw the principal bearing his GAT pictures was his trump card. He used this information to guarantee a response from him. They beg for more time to gather evidence, but he gives them a question. GAT or Baba. They have to answer it correctly or else their request will be denied. Thinking back, he remembers he was holding GAT pictures, so Kiyoshi says GAT, which is the correct answer. But he asks why is the answer correct. Using all of his brain power, he relates it to human evolution. He says when man walked on all fours, they saw GAT, but when we began to walk on 2 legs, Baba took its place, so GAT is the original, making it superior. The principal then hugs Kiyoshi for getting the answer correct. He gives them the maximum time he can give, which is a single day. He leaves and wishes them good luck. Now, with their 1 day extension, the boys gain hope again. Gakuto goes over his final plan with the boys. They want to distract Meiko with another challenge to allow Gakuto to finish gathering the data. Unfortunately for them, Meiko is being replaced with Hana. Hana walks in with their lunch, which shocks them. Their plan is ruined. When Kiyoshi is collecting his lunch, Hana tells him she still wants revenge. They feel defeated knowing that Hana would never accept a challenge with the boys. However, Kiyoshi tells them that Hana would let him into the office. Kiyoshi sends a message to Chiyo to come to the rear door of the prison after dinner. She receives the message and Anzu approaches her and offers her help. The night approaches, so the boys set their plan into motion. Joe stabs Gakuto in the head with a fork. Hana comes in and they request first aid for him. She takes them to the nurse's office and places bandages around his head. Hana takes Kiyoshi to the office. Chiyo is waiting outside to be let in, but Meiko is heavy on guard. Kiyoshi unlocks the door, but Meiko catches someone. Fortunately for them, it is Onzu, so the plan isn't ruined yet. Hana locks the door again, but with Meiko gone, Chiyo can easily sneak in. Hana and Kiyoshi leave the room. YouTube won't allow me to tell you what happened, but this finally allows Chiyo to enter. Back in his cell, he tells the others that everything is going according to plan. Gakuto and Joe use the toilet before Hana locks them in for the night. Feeling uneasy, Meiko and Mary double check the cell and they see everyone is in bed. In the morning, the boys leave their cells. Meiko takes them to the principal's office. He reads out all of their crimes they committed and makes their expulsion official. A familiar voice is running through the school. It runs through the hallways, scaring all of the girls. The USC celebrate their victory over the boys. Kiyoshi tells them that they won the battle. Meiko realizes something is wrong with Gakuto. It is Joe in disguise, and Joe is Chiyo in disguise. Kiyoshi tells them that when the real Gakuto shows up, it is checkmate. A badly beaten Gakuto is thrown into the principal's office without his clothes. Confused as to how Gakuto escaped, he explains their three-way swap in the bathroom. Last night, he also went to the office to download all the DTO data. He cut his head to make the disguise more convincing for Joe. Gakuto then pulls the data out of his gyat before presenting it to the principal. Teary-eyed, he gives up the drive. After inspecting what's on the drive, he makes the conclusion that the boys are innocent. The USC accept their defeat. He tells the boys that from this day on, they are free men again. They all now walk out in school uniform, proud of their victory. The boys now watch the three girls who tortured them go to the school's prison. That is the end of this video. If you enjoyed, press the usual YouTuber buttons, you know, liking, subscribing, etc. I also have a Discord in the description. Thank you for watching, look out and take care.